We showcase independent designers, all made in the US and Canada, with a focus on local designers, so it's really cool to be able to know our designers. They often come in and drop off clothes here. We have trunk shows. We showcase local art monthly. A lot of it is just different. It's not something you're gonna find in a big box store. A lot of it is small batch, so it's the kind of thing where you find a dress and you have it and only 4 other people in the world have it, or maybe 20 other people in the world have it. Our designers really care about the fabrics they choose. Often our designers will design prints that they then use to create their clothing. So it's a lot of really unique designs that way. I think we really are interested in, when you walk down the street, somebody saying, oh, that's just, you know, really cool. We have a feminine bent. A lot of it is dresses. We have a lot of jewelry, so it's a great place to find jewelry to give gifts for special occasions. Often people will say, oh, I haven't seen this anywhere. Some of our brands, we're the only shop that it's carried in the whole world. A lot of things you just don't find everywhere, and we want to be a place for that. So we don't want you to be able to go 2 blocks away and see the same things, or see the same things over and over again. So every single thing in here is really unique, and that's pretty cool. Yeah, special.
Taylor Shellfish, been farming for 120 years. As far as varietals go, we mostly focus on oysters that are grown in South Puget Sound. We also feature some Canadian oysters through partnership with Fanny Bay. We also feature some fresh prawns that we get in certain times of the month, some spot prawns. We also do fresh Dungeness crab. We serve by the whole or half, and that is a local product. You know, we try to keep our preparations as simple as possible. You know, for oysters, we do oysters on the half shell. We also do baked oysters. We'll do fried oysters. The Pioneer Square location and the Queen Anne location have full bars, so we like to feature some great wines that accompany our oysters. We'll do a mussel steam, clam steamers, and we try to update those recipes to complement the season that we're running them in. The thing that makes Taylor Shellfish the most unique is that we're serving a product that is literally from tide to table. I can order products in the evening. It's getting pulled off the beach or out of the water early the next morning, and then getting to our oyster bars within that afternoon. And since we grow all of our own product and supply all of our own oyster bars, you don't have to worry about shelf life, how long has it been sitting around. These oysters are going to be at absolute peak when you get them and put them in your mouth. I mean, it's just going to be a fantastic, enjoyable eating experience.
Copperworks Distilling, we opened the distillery to make malt whiskey. Jason and myself have backgrounds in brewing beer, so we're making a high-quality craft beer without hops and turning it into whiskey. Whiskey takes years to age, so we're making vodka and gin as well. So our vodka has a vanilla note, and that is due to an ester that's naturally created during fermentation, so a flavor that the yeast produces. Our vodka's got some body and mouth feel and some residual sweetness, making it a little different than your typical vodka. And our gin has got a lot of citrus, lemon peel and orange peel, coriander seed bumped up onto the level of the juniper, and really nice secondary notes after you swallow of menthol and peppercorn. What makes Copperworks unique is that we're on the vibrant Seattle waterfront, and we have 4 custom-made, hand-hammered Scottish stills, each dedicated for a particular purpose. We have 2 whiskey stills for making single malt whiskey, a column still for making grain-neutral spirits, which is the base for our vodkas and our gin, and a dedicated gin still.
We named the shop after my great-grandfather Elmer Smith. He was a gold mine engineer in southern Idaho and kind of inspired the aesthetic of the shop. We kind of loosely based the shop after a place in his hometown of Atlanta, Idaho called The Hub. Kind of that new old idea of general store where it's store and bar at the same time. So there's usually only one place in the town where everybody could meet, kind of a community space. And we're focusing on small batch American-made goods in the shop and then craft cocktails in the back. It's a family business. So my mom and I kind of concepted together early on, and then we brought my sister in to help us run the kitchen and the bar. The neighborhood didn't really have any amenities for people that lived and worked down here, so we wanted to offer something upscale for people that lived down here. There's a big network in America right now of people that are getting back to the roots of creating things. I mean, I have a lot of people anymore that'll reach out to us and say, hey, we're making this great thing. And for us, it's really important that it has a story. So you're connecting how it's made and who's making it to the consumer that's purchasing it, gives it some purpose in your life and not just another thing to buy. So we love the stories, people that are really good storytellers are making good things.
Pioneer Square really exemplifies Seattle itself. It's kind of the linchpin that is bringing together a lot of the different cultural neighborhoods and bringing them into a central location. It's kind of finding its identity again, becoming a little bit more modern.
It's the oldest part of the city, so it's got really beautiful architecture, and the story goes that all burned down at once and then all got built up at once, kind of late 1800s. So it's all Romanesque revival architectures, but it's really eclectic. You can find everything from dive bars to craft cocktails.
The Seattle waterfront is a magnet for tourists from all over the world. It's in the heart of Seattle. It's where everybody comes to when they visit Seattle. And so we wanted to be where the people are.
Such a beautiful neighborhood, and it has such rich history, and in terms of Seattle, it's got the richest history and the longest history. And I think everybody down here is really working hard to make it unique and make sure that it's rich in independent businesses. It's got some of the hustle and bustle of downtown, but with a little bit more character. And it's just really exciting to be in the center of things, where things are really growing.